In today's video, I'm going to talk about things that will determine whether or not you're going to be a safe motorcycle rider. I'm not talking about things that are completely out of your control, like drunk drivers or people not paying attention or people using their cell phone and merging over into your lane, not things like that. Things that you can kind of, say to yourself or ask yourself a few questions about what's going to determine whether or not you are the safe rider. So stick around, let's get the video started. Alright, first question to ask yourself, how's your driving record? If you've been driving a long time before you decided to start riding motorcycles, you can just look back on your driving history and ask yourself, well, have I gotten a lot of speeding tickets? Have I been in a lot of accidents? How's my insurance rate because of my driving record? If you're the type of person that's got a lead foot, like I kind of was when I was younger, I used to drive a lot of muscle cars and stuff, and the thrill of the speed and everything was kind of what kept me doing it, and I loved working on them. But so if you've had a lot of speeding tickets and everything else like that, then well, you got to kind of ask yourself, am I going to be just like that on a motorcycle, or am I going to be able to control myself and the urge to go fast in city streets and the urge to twist the throttle wide open and just do dumb things while you're out riding. So on one hand, if you're one of those type of people that has a lot of speeding tickets, you've been in accidents and things like that, and you're considering starting riding a motorcycle, you're probably going to have to, talk to yourself, sit down and have a little talk with yourself about, this is a whole different ball game. Riding a motorcycle is much more dangerous than driving a car. You don't have that protective cage around you like everybody likes to say. They're not as forgiving. The slightest little mistake on a motorcycle can get you killed and hurt. It requires pretty much full concentration when you're learning how to ride a bike. So you don't want to be out there on the streets taking chances and things like that, because it is pretty much life or death out here. With that being said, it's not something you need to tell yourself that it's just not safe enough, because it can absolutely be safe. I think the trade-off that, how dangerous a motorcycle can be, the trade-off for what you get in return is well worth the risk. So your driving record. Take a good look at your driving record, and that's going to be a pretty good indicator on how safe of a rider you're going to be. So the next question to ask yourself, are you neat? What do I mean by that? Are you a neat freak, or are you a complete and total slob? And I don't mean you have to have OCD level of attention to detail and keeping things squared away in your life and that everything is labeled in your kitchen cupboards and everything. I'm just talking about, how clean you keep things. The thing about riding and maintaining a motorcycle is, I wouldn't say they have to be sparkly clean all the time, but you do have to pay attention to how clean your bike is. Your tires and your chain and your windshield and your visor on your helmet. You want to keep all that stuff clean and maintained. And if you're a neat freak, then yeah, you're probably going to stay on top of that stuff. But if you're just a complete slob and you drive a filthy car and there's McDonald's cups piled up on the inside of it all over the place and something nasty underneath the seat, you can't even tell what the hell it is because it's biologically turned into something completely different. Yeah, that's going to determine on how safe you are, because keeping a bike clean, maintained, and in good working condition is vital to being safe out here. So don't let your bike get all, neglected and you ride it 47 million times and never check the chain on it, you never check the tire pressure, you never clean it. That's going to amount to just bad news all around. So if you're a pretty neat person in life in general, then you're probably going to be pretty safe as far as maintaining your bike is concerned. Alright, the next question you want to ask yourself is, what scares you? I mean, do you get terrified of heights, or do spiders scare you, or your wife in a bad mood, does that scare you? Are you afraid of motorcycles? Are you afraid of going fast? Are you afraid of taking chances? I mean, are you the type of person that would just jump out of an airplane and not check whether or not your parachute is packed properly? Now, the reason why you should be asking yourself that question is if you have a little bit of fear of riding, like I talked about in my other video, then that's something that is extremely healthy when it comes to learning to ride a motorcycle. Because that at least tells yourself that you recognize that there's a machine between your legs that weighs hundreds of pounds, and just by doing something wrong, by, you know, like giving it too much throttle at the wrong time or grabbing too much brake at the wrong time, that you can get hurt, you can get killed. So having a fear for riding and a fear for the motorcycle is a good, healthy thing. Now, it's not one of those things that just constantly sticks in your mind, because the more you ride and the more you get used to riding and everything, that fear kind of subsides and it turns into like a healthy caution, you know, a healthy paranoia when you're out riding around. Like, having been doing this for a few years now, I can tell you that I can cruise down the road and, you know, not be afraid. Whereas when I started riding, probably the first 4 or 5 months, every time I'd get ready to go riding, I would honestly just have this nervousness. I'd go out in the garage and get my gear on, and I would honestly, I'm not going to lie to you, I'd have to sit down for a few minutes to try to calm down before I'd go out riding. Because it's, you know, I did recognize that I could hurt myself. You know, I might not come home, or I might end up in the hospital for days or even weeks. So having a healthy fear for things that are dangerous just translates into being more cautious when you approach stuff like this. You're having them days when you get up and you're just doing your thing. You know, I'm sitting at the table this morning watching YouTube videos and crap, and just, you know, having my morning coffee, and I get up and go out in the garage, put my gear on, because I want to make another video, because I enjoy this stuff, and then just all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my back starts hurting. Today's one of them days. I mean, I didn't do anything to make my back hurt, but here we are. My back's hurting. I've never been up this road before. Let's go check it out. So if you've liked this week's video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, tap that little bell notification thing, hit that like button. We'll be back next week with another video talking about something else. So from the west end of a town where the term flying saucer originated, ride safe and have a good day.